Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be setting up the month of October in my daily journal. I'm really excited for this because if you've been watching my channel and seeing all October daily preps and stuff like that, you know I have loads of Halloweenish stamps and kits. So I'm going to actually use my Halloween themed stamps to decorate October. So I'm going to start as always using the Tucker Alpha stamps from Studio Calico to stamp out October. I'm going to try to center it as much as possible. Then I'm going to grab this beautiful stamp set from the Paper Person and I'm going to stamp all the things that represents Halloween. I just want this to be Halloween themed, even though you guys know I'm not big on themes, but when it comes to October, I think you just have to theme it up and use all the Halloween stamp sets. So once I kind of get the hang of this and I know where I want to stamp everything, I just kind of go for it. I go back and forth between the Paper Person's stamp set. I think I use Simple Stories stamp set and some old Kelly Perky stamp sets as well. I love this one from Kelly Perky because it has the month. So I stamped that right underneath October. I thought that was a cute little add-on. And I'm going back and forth between black ink, orange ink, and of course I will use my acrylograph from Archer and Olive, my pens, to fill in some of these characters and kind of add some color to my spread. Now, this video, I decided that I'm going to zoom in a little bit while I'm creating because I've gotten a lot of subscribers asking me to zoom in. Let me know if you like my daily journal process videos zoomed in like this. I'm not used to it because I always feel like you want to see me, switch out ink pads and stamps and things like that. But if you like this more, I will definitely start zooming in when I'm creating in my daily journal. But just let me know in the comments down below, just so I know if I should zoom in or zoom out. So at this point, I feel like the top of my October is very heavy. It's like very stamp heavy. So I decide to grab this old stamp set from Kelly Perky and stamp the witch's legs underneath my O. That way it kind of helps balance out that October. Like I said, I just felt like it was really stamp heavy at the top. But once I add the witch's legs, I just feel like everything looked better. Anyways, I'm going to grab my Archer and Olive acrylograph pens. I love those pens. I recommend them all the time. They are so easy to use and the colors are gorgeous. I know I've been getting a lot of questions about the sets that I used or I have, and I will link them in the description box. But these are like my favorite colors. And I believe I have 2 to 3 sets, if I'm not mistaken. But I will link them down in the description box for you. I'll also kind of separate each layout so you can find what you're looking for easily. But anyways, I'm going to grab my pen as well, add a border to my spread. I just love adding borders. I think it really kind of brings everything in. And I will grab some black washi tape to add in the corners, just to add a pop of color to the corners of my spread. I'm going to go back to my pens, but this time around, I'm going to grab my Tombows and use them to fill out my ghost, my legs. I think I color in, or actually I add a shadow, a drop shadow to my October. I've been asked a lot about the grays I use on my spreads, and I will link those in the description box as well. I use 2 different grays. One to add the drop shadows, and then I use a different one to add the lines in my boxes. And I'll mention that later on when I start working on my spreads, but I will make sure to add those in the description box for you. Okay, now that I'm done with my title page, we can move to week 40. Week 40 starts with a Friday, so I went ahead and added 3 boxes because I like to start my weeks on Mondays, so I'm okay, making my boxes a little bit bigger. And I'm going to be using this beautiful, bold Days of the Week stamp set from Studio Calico. I had the space, so I went with it. And also, I want to stick to the Halloween theme, but I wanted this layout to look more like high school or spooky high school. I don't know if I was able to do that, but that's what I was looking for. So I went ahead and stamped the days of the week in black ink, and I'm using this number stamp. It has the outline and the filler. I use that one so I can fill in the numbers with a color just to add some color to my spread. I end up using this beautiful saffron yellow from Close to My Heart to fill out my numbers, and it looks perfect. And once I add that, I'm gonna use these bold alphas from Paper Person Shop. They kind of look like varsity letters, and so I thought that was perfect for what I'm going for. So I went with it. I'm gonna grab those, I'm gonna stamp them in black ink, and then use the filler alphas to add some color to my week. So I've been asked multiple times how or where I get inspiration for my spreads. I usually go on Pinterest, check out other bullet journalers, and look on Instagram. I watch a lot of YouTube as well. There's so much inspiration out there. Now, obviously, I'm using stamps, but I kind of get a lot of my concepts, like how I'm going to set my spreads out, through watching these other crafters and bullet journalers. So I definitely recommend it. You can change it up as you go. And that's what I end up doing. I always add my boxes beforehand just so you don't have to watch me do that. But then I can always change it up and I don't stick to just what I have planned out basically. So I'm done stamping week. I stamped 40, and now I can use my Halloween stamp sets to add a little something to my spread. I ended up using the Simple Stories stamp set here. Again, I don't remember the name of the stamp set, but I will link everything in the description box for you. I'm going to stamp a few here and there, around the corners of my boxes. I'll also stamp spooky right above week, and I added the little spider, which is a great little touch. I just think it added to the spookiness. And I will use my pens to fill out these stamps. Now, these stamps did not come with fillers, so I'm okay using my Tombow markers, my acrylograph pens to fill those out. I'm also adding my lines. I have decided not to use my ruler because it takes longer and it's kind of annoying. So I'm just freehanding this and it's working out. It's not the best, I need practice, but I think, you have to start somewhere. So I'm okay freehanding it and I actually like how it looks. So I end up doing it for all my layouts for the month. But anyways, you can see me here grabbing my Tombow markers and my acrylograph markers and just kind of filling these out, and it looks so adorable. I wish I had my Paper Person Shop's newer stamps. They have teen spirit stamps. That would have worked perfectly for this spread, but it's okay. It still looks pretty spooky. Now, the last few months, I've been using my light gray Tombow marker to add lines within my boxes. And I really have enjoyed that because it makes my journaling stand out and I can see the lines better. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to actually do it for all my spreads this month. And I really like that little touch. It's very simple to do. I just skip a line and it adds a lot of color to my spread. So I'm going to end up doing this for all my spreads this month. Okay, let's move on to week 41. So week 41 was totally inspired by other bullet journalers. I love it when they do Dutch doors. So I decided I'm going to try this out and I'm going to do Dutch doors for the whole week. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is my journal has a lot of space left in it. I can still fit November and December very easily, comfortably. So I'm going to use the papers. I want to use all the papers, so I'm just going to go for this. Now, this worked out perfectly. You do have to measure. So I definitely did not want to bore you to death and show you how to measure this. But I messed up with the last tab, and there's like it's slightly off, but it doesn't bother me. This is a tryout, and you'll never learn if you don't try. And it does not have to be perfect. It's just a daily journal, and we're doing this basically for fun. So, journal can stand out while we're journaling in it, and it kind of motivates you to journal. But, anyways, because each day of the week has its own little page, I can use this bold, beautiful Days of the Week stamp set from the Paper Person shop. I love the stamp set, and I never get to use it in my daily journal because they're so big, but I can use it here. I just end up stamping each day on a different page, and then I'm going to fill it out with some of the words from that stamp set. I'll even go into my Halloween stamp sets and fill out some of the like lines on the days of the week. So I end up like stamping "The magic is on" and "I smell children," things like that. It's just fun to play with. Once I fill those out, I want to do something on the left side of my spread because as you can see, the Dutch doors are in the center. I need something on the left and something on the right. So I go with this beautiful stamp set from Close to My Heart. It has these big spider webs. So I end up adding it to each corner. And then I'm going to use that space to stamp week 41. I'm going to use those big bold alphas from the Paper Person shop that kind of look like varsity alphas. I just thought if I use the same alphas, it would help like the whole October flow nicely and kind of match. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that out. I'll also use the fillers. I'm going to stamp it with this beautiful mulberry ink from Close to My Heart. That's one of my favorite new inks from Close to My Heart, and stamp 41 right next to it. Now for the opposite side of my Dutch doors, I haven't decided what I want to do there. I might end up adding like a to-do list, maybe stories from the week, even pictures. I can definitely print out pictures with my Ivy printer and add those on the opposite side. Honestly, you can do whatever you want, but I really like the idea of having these Dutch doors and using the papers in your journal. Now, I also want to add some cuteness to the days of the week. So I grabbed the stamp set from Close to My Heart. It has like little characters like a witch and skeletons and cats. So I'm going to stamp them in the corner just to add a little something to the days of the week. I'll even use the speech bubbles to add color. So I end up like switching back and forth between different shades of purple. And I really, really like how that turned out. Now, one of the stamp sets from my like Halloween stamp sets has the spiders. So I go back to it and add some of the spiders to my spider web. Just wanted to add a little something there. I'll probably even end up grabbing my acrylographs and like adding a little color to my spider web. But anyways, I'm going to color in my tabs using my black Posca pen. I thought it would be smart so it can stand out. I'll also grab my Tombow markers to add color to my days of the week, like my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. And I'm going to use my pen to add the lines. I always recommend to add your lines once you're done stamping. You don't want to stamp and then you have a line going through your stamp. So definitely do that at the end once you're done. And I'm adding my lines to my boxes. Again, I really like how this looks and I'm obsessed at this point. Anyways, once I do that, I'm going to move on to week 42. Now, week 42 is a mishmash of all the things. I'm just going with this. I decided that I'm going to stamp all the things and everything on this spread, and I wanted to see if I could kind of balance things out coming from behind my boxes. Now, this was not my favorite spread because I had no plan. And usually I never have plans, I just go with it. But I kind of have a vision of what I want to do, if that makes sense. But for this one, I just went with it and I thought if it works out, perfect. If it doesn't, oh well, lesson learned. So this is literally what I did. I went through all my stamps back and forth, trying to add some color here and there, using my black ink as well, and trying to use my stamps. I always say this, like, use your daily journal or your bullet journal or whatever the case is to use those unused stamps. And because Halloween only comes once a year, this is a great way to use those stamps that are sitting in your little baskets for months on end. So definitely go for it. If it works, great. If not, no big deal. I did stamp this little circle on some sticker paper. I just thought it would look nice to kind of also layer my boxes as well. So I went ahead and stuck that down, and I go back to my stamps to fill out all the little empty spots in between my boxes. Now I'm trying to add color using the stars, so I'm going back and forth between yellow and purple. This is a great way to add color to your spread. I'm also going to do this little technique that I've learned from another bullet journaler. Now, if you are interested to know which bullet journalers I usually watch, let me know. I will link them in the description box, but I watch a lot, but I'll try to keep it to at least, 3 or 4 that are my favorites and the ones that I never miss. But anyways, so she did this whole technique where she added the washi tape in between her boxes and then grabbed her X-Acto knife and trimmed the edges so it looks like the washi tape is behind the boxes. And I thought that was genius. I have a lot of washi, and it's a great way to add color in between the boxes. So I went with this checkered washi, and I actually used some black washi as well. And it was so easy to do. You just have to be careful with your X-Acto knife and that you're not cutting through your paper and you're just cutting through the washi tape. This was really cute. It added a lot of color. I think I didn't add enough to make it kind of stand out. But you know what? Again, I'm learning and I'm trying new things. And the more I use it or do the same technique over and over again, the better I'm going to get at it. Now that I'm done with that, I can move on by adding the days of the week. I'm using my Feed Your Craft stamp here. This is a favorite of mine. I think it's called Current Day. So I'm going to use that to stamp the days of the week in my boxes. And then I want to add the lines to my boxes because at this point I'm thinking I'm done stamping. And all I need to stamp out is the week. So I'm going to use some large alphas. I believe they are from the Paper Person, to stamp week in the corner, and then I'll stamp 42. I'll also grab one of the newer Halloween stamps from Feed Your Craft to stamp a little mischief right above week, and then I call week 42 done. Oh, and I totally forgot. I will, of course, add my lines in my boxes to complete my spread, and then we can move on to the next week. So because week 42 was so busy and stamp heavy, I decided to keep week 43 pretty simple. I'm going to start by stamping the days of the week, and I used this beautiful stamp set from Feed Your Craft. And I will add color by using, I think I end up using one of my Tombow markers to fill out the days of the week, but this is a great stamp to add color. I'm also using my mini calendar day stamp from Everyday Explorers to add the numbers. And then I will start working on stamping and making the spread spooky. So I end up using, again, the Paper Person Shop stamp set to add a skeleton, to add the gingerbread man. I think he's so adorable. Just little things like that in between my boxes. Again, I'm keeping this week simple, so I'm not going all out. I also grab these little pumpkins that are adorable to add color. So I'm going to end up using some colored ink to add some color to my pumpkins in the corner. I also did stamp I Smell Children, which is one of my favorite stamps from Carrie Bradford, but I'm gonna use those pumpkins to add color. And now I can stamp week 43. As I said, this is going to come together quickly because I kept it simple. Now, because I'm freehanding my lines, I was struggling with my pen. So this time around, I used my Sharpie pen, which was okay, but I wasn't really happy with it. Again, I'm trying new things. Let me know if you have a good pen to freehand lines. I'm just struggling a little bit. I'm trying to find the right pen for this. But anyways, I'm going to try to finish this spread up and share with you. I'm going to interrupt my process video because something happened with my camera and it really, really upset me because the next layout was one of my favorites and I'm going to share it with you, but we're going to go kind of in real time at this moment. Okay, guys, so I have to interrupt my process video because when I was done working on week 43, or let's say the midst of week 43, my camera went out of focus and I didn't notice. So when I was recording week 44, it was all out of focus. I apologize. And it really kind of ticked me off because it turned out to be my favorite week. So I wanted to share it with you. I'm going to put a little video of me putting it together, even though it's out of focus, but I'll probably put it up here or here. And I love how it turned out. I did want to share with you really quickly what I did and what I used. I literally used the frame stamp set from Feed Your Craft. Let me grab it real quick. So this is the stamp set I used for this spread, and I just stamped different frames for each week. And then I used the Paper Person Shop's new Halloween kit, or their new stamp set, and Feed Your Crafts, I think it's called Spellbound. So I just used these two stamps to fill out my frames with different characters. And for obviously October 31st, I just stamped October 31st for Sunday. And then I also used my Feed Your Craft week stamp. I think this one's called Current Days to stamp the days, and some number stickers for the days of the week. But I love how it turned out. I apologize again for not being able to share the process with you, but I also did share my Archer and Olive acrylograph pens to fill out my frames and backgrounds and things like that. But I just love how that turned out. This is literally how my October turned out. I did add some little things here and there, probably went back in and colored a few things. I love how October turned out. As you guys know, I love doing October daily, so I thought my October and my daily journal should be all spooky and fun. This was a fun little add-on, which I really enjoyed creating. I added some color to my days. This was not my favorite week. I think it looks pretty fun, but definitely not my favorite. 44 was definitely my favorite. This, I kept it very simple, I think, because I stamped so much here. I kept week 43 very simple, and I will end up adding stickers and all that good stuff later when I fill this out. And there's week 44. I do need to add week 44 up here, but I'm done. I'm excited. I can't wait for October. I hope you enjoyed watching this process video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.